Home auction offers chance to own. HUD chief resigns. And Democrats drop a stupid bailout plan.
Next on Real Estate News You Can Use. Welcome to Real Estate News You Can Use. What's up, Keith?
Not too much. How are you?
Doing awesome. Doing great.
Awesome blossom? Oh, great. I think we're going to have to do a rhyme. Every time you say something, the last word you say, I'm going to pick up with a rhyme on the next side.
Good luck with that.
Hat? Do you need a hat?
Oh, boy. Okay. All right.
Toy? Do you like to play with toys?
If this is your first time on Real Estate News You Can Use, this is a real estate and mortgage podcast talking about what's going on in the industry. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the industry. So what me and Keith do, pick 3 articles.
And we laugh a lot.
By scouring the internet mostly. And choose what we want to talk about, share them with you on our site, renewsyoucanuse.com, and provide our own commentary. So
come join us on renewsyoucanuse.com. You're going to find a lot of stuff there that you're going to like. I can guarantee it.
So,
Poe,
let's start with the first article.
Article particle. Okay, let's go.
All right, our first article is from Boston.com. Home auction offers many a chance to win. Or to own.
To own. To win and to own.
To win and to own.
I just want a house. Yay! Yes, this is a great... It's funny, this one is from Boston, our hometown.
Right. That's right. Well,
They recently had an auction a couple days ago, Ruben, and why don't you start and talk about the fun time?
Well, obviously everyone knows what an auction is. And
obviously everybody knows that we are also auctioneers.
That's right. That's right. You'll be learning more about that soon enough. Anyhow, yes, there was a mega auction at the Heinz Convention Center in Boston. 1,500 people went to the auction. 175 homes were at auction.
Yes.
And it was crazy ridiculous. It was unbelievable. Apparently, they were selling properties worth $380 for $275.
Well, here's the good thing.
$150 for $75.
Here's the good thing. It drove activity. People were excited about the auction. There were winning bids out there, but not all the winning bids necessarily got to own the house. In fact, Ruben, the same company that came here in November, only, 25% didn't get sold, was it?
25% have not closed yet.
They have not closed yet. 25% have not closed. So that means that the bank said, okay, we're going to sell the house to you, but they have not closed yet because the bank moves so slow, or there are other issues such as who's going to pay the taxes. So there's a lot of issues involved. Let me tell you what my issue is with this article from Boston.com that they didn't even address.
Right.
The company that's doing the auction is from California. Now, I'm going to see if I can get my super sleuth hat on and do some detective work. Here I am, ladies and gentlemen. Super sleuth Keith Carberry. I find it odd that an auction company from California comes out from California to do a Boston auction. Now, granted, they might be great in California, but there are issues in Boston and Massachusetts that are
California don't have to deal with.
Right, they're so completely different. We are a state that requires we're called an attorney state, and they are a title state.
Right.
Two completely different ways to buy and sell a house when you're in California versus Massachusetts.
Good
so
point.
Why don't you have an auctioneer company from Massachusetts doing the auctions? I don't know. It blows my mind. So we're going to look into that and find out what the reason is.
There's another thing to hear that a lot of people went to the auction and don't realize is that not all of these properties get sold, Keith.
No, they don't.
Someone might buy a property that was listed at $380 for $275, but that doesn't mean the bank will take that price.
Right.
So everyone who goes to an auction, obviously it's a great experience. I've been to one. They are a remarkable way to market properties, but
the fungi.
But you have to realize that an auction is nothing more than a.
Did you say but?
The auction is nothing more than a replacement of the offer and acceptance process.
That's right.
So check it out. renewsyoucanuse.com.
Embattled HUD chief resigns. His name is something Jackson. Alfonso Jackson, who is a friend of Mr. President Bush back in the 80s, back in the Texas days. became the number 2 man when in the HUD department when President Bush was elected the first time around, and then he became shortly in 2004 the number one HUD director.
And then he resigns.
And he resigns under a lot of concerns. He did some little shady stuff. He leaves behind a trail of unanswered questions about whether he titled the Department of Housing and Urban Development toward Republican contractors and cronies. These things happen. If it was a Democratic person in, they're gonna have a Democratic crony in there. He just got caught. And then it said, one of the things that I wrote here that was a little bit of a bull. It says Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton said that the Jackson registration is appropriate. It does nothing to address the Bush administration's wait and don't see posture to our nation's housing crisis. I'm a big fan of laissez-faire, and the Democratic Party in this particular case is not, and they want to do a whole slew of things. So to say that President Bush is not doing anything, he is doing something. Mm-hmm. He's just not doing enough, according to the Democrat.
Well, he is doing things, but it's just not working.
Not yet. and that's my biggest fear, is that they're going to continue to do things, and when the economy starts to turn around, all these things to get the economy going are going to start taking place, and we're going to have a huge rush in the economy, and we're going to have a huge inflationary problems.
No, you're right. I mean, and back to mainly what the article consisted of. I mean, obviously, he resigns. He said he claims it was just family issues and things like that. Yeah. But definitely, I mean, obviously, he has to deal with what's going on in the housing crisis.
He didn't resign. He was told to resign.
And, hey, heads have to fall.
Right.
And politics always has to get involved in everything. But
but I do. I think that's my prediction for the day, though. We're gonna say that there's gonna be too much going into the government. I've mentioned it before, and I'm seeing it now. The government's putting in too much stuff going in, and it's gonna blow up, and we're gonna have huge inflationary problems. I'm gonna say about 9 to 12 months from now.
Awesome.
Okay.
Last article is from CNNMoney.com. Senate reaches foreclosure relief compromise. Obviously, the government's trying to do a lot of things, like you said,
right,
Keith.
Right.
Some of them are good. Some of them not so good.
Right.
And one of the latest things that was opposed, thank God.
No kidding.
Was giving bankruptcy judges the power to cut interest rates and principal on troubled mortgages. I mean, really, seriously.
Imagine giving attorneys. That's almost like having me go to a heart doctor because I have got a bad knee. It's just, it's like two different things, I mean, why would you get somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about to reduce taxes? Reduce mortgage principals. It's ridiculous. Absolutely crazy. So that's basically the story on this one. What else is it that they said might go through? Oh, this is actually interesting. The upcoming bill also is sure to attract a GOP amendment by Senator Johnny Isaacson from Georgia to award $15,000 in tax credits to people who buy and move into foreclosed homes. Kind of cool. I like that. There's always going to be a loophole in there. You can say that your investor's going to buy the house. He probably is an investor, but he's going to say that he's going to move in and live there so he gets the tax credits, and he may or may not actually live there. But, it's still a great idea to get the tax credits. Tax credits are very, very powerful. It's not a tax break, it's a tax credit. So if you owe in taxes at the end of the year $3,000, you can offset that $15,000 tax credit with that $3,000 completely, 100%.
Whatever's
offset.
being done, it has to be done because it says that 8,000 homes are being foreclosed on every day.
And we're going to go.
I'm Ruben.
I'm Keith.
Make it a great day.
Stay classy, America.